say, this means your friend, your brother, Human Steven on the show. A very quick one this morning. As you all know, I just want to give us one of the latest updates from the news desk. Let's go morning from the news desk, and I hope you guys already had a nice, sleep. Just if you are here coming in, guys, please just press the share button. Let's share this word of freedom, and let's see how we can be able to invite as many people into the show. Please just press your share button. Let's invite people in, and let's see the much we can do this morning. Please, guys, just press come in, give us some likes, press the share button, and let's go into the show. Let's discuss the future of our country. Nigeria needs help. There's no truth about it. One thing I tell most people is this: you can't actually change the fact that you are a Nigerian. Okay, you can't change that fact, no matter the what's it called, the passport or the citizenship, that you have in other mass land. You cannot change the fact, the true fact that you are a Nigerian. You can't change that fact, guys. You can't change the fact. It's a fact that have come, to come and stare us in the face, and so we as Nigerians, we must do everything humanly possible to be able to bring normalcy to our nation. And while we do that, we must speak to the people. When I said, Nigeria, I mean the over 200 and something ethnic groups that actually made up the contraction called Nigeria. Okay, guys, that's what I'm going to start today before I talk about the news headline that I put up. Okay. Please, thank you guys. As you just come in, you just press the share button, give us some likes, and then let's go to the show. Now, today Nigeria has become, a very good morning, brother Edosama Frank. I greet you, sir. Nigeria have become a very, very volatile state. There are two reasons. I was just doing some research this morning, early in the morning. I slept around 2 o'clock. I woke up around 5, and I was just doing some research, trying to actually know what is the cause of this recurrent problem of the Nigerian state. We almost begin to start thinking, where did we get it wrong? Was Nigeria actually put together, I'm going to use the word put together right now, by the British government for it to actually succeed, or it was put together as a business contraction, or you can call it an empire? Because if we don't know, we will continually having this same mindset that the problem of the country called Nigeria is actually the people. Okay, but I want to make something very clear today in my analysis of what we are actually going through in this country, that the problem is not the people, the problem is the contraction. Not the people, but the contraction. Okay, now in the United Kingdom, for example, who are the people that actually bundle up, this whole. Good morning, Enogie Collins. I greet you, sir. Who actually, bundle up this whole idea, the British people, They actually practice the same system they brought on Nigeria. But the difference is this: the Londonians has the highest number of people, but yet every aspect of the United Kingdom has equal right. No matter the population of that geographical location in the United Kingdom. And if you also go to Switzerland, you can also get the same manner and way of operating a multinational country like Nigeria. In Switzerland, there is a rotation of the presidency or the prime ministership of the Swiss people around all the nationalities that made up Switzerland. Get it now, guys? So, now, but when they brought the contraction called Nigeria on us, they vested the power on 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria. Now, they decided to mop up what they call the minority groups into the 3 major ethnic groups. Good morning, Brother Francis. Good morning, my brother, Jolly. So they mopped up the other 200 and something ethnic groups into the 3 major ethnic groups. I want to have 3 regions that have made up the contraction called Nigeria. Forgetting before the fraudulent amalgamation of 1914 by Frederick Lord Lugard and his girlfriend Florence, we have kingdoms. We have kingdoms. We have empires in that geographical location called Nigeria. We have the Benin Empire. We have the Shekiri Kingdom. We have the Ijaw Kingdom. We have the Nupe, the Thieves, and all these different kingdoms were actually existing before the forceful taking over of our nation, of our nation, of our nationalities, our identities. Now, when they brought us together by force, without our own input, yeah, the Oduduwa kingdom. Thank you, sir. When they brought up, when they forced us together by this, without our own input, they give us no option if we want to be part of this contraction or we want to live independently. That was number 1. Number 2, after they forced us, you will remember the 1897 British invasion on the Benin Empire. That invasion was just done in order to make the Benin's to be part of the Nigerian state. Get it today, guys. That 1897 invasion by the British colonial masters on the Benin Kingdom was purposely done in order for them to be able to subdue the then powerhouse in the savannah, which was the Benin Kingdom. Believe it or leave it, guys. As at that time, the powerhouse of the savannah was the Benin Kingdom, because their prowess stretched up to Benin Republic of today, up to the Volta region in Ghana, far into the east, and the Atlantic. Okay? Now, while they were putting us together, they refused us to even speak on where we want to belong to. They mopped up into these three major ethnic groups called the Wazobia, the Yorubas, the Igbos, and the Hausas. That was the beginning of the failure of the Nigerian state. What you are seeing today, I want to be very clear today, guys. What you guys are seeing today is, the aftermath of that very particular unfortunate action by Lord Lugard and the British government. There have been some kind of war, an internal war, since 1914 till today. We all know when the Middle Belters were fighting to disintegrate from the Major North. We all know when the then Midwest region, the Edo Delta, fought to disengage from the Western region. We all know what they call the Niger Delta today, because then Edo Delta was not part of Niger Delta. We all know how they fought to leave the Eastern region. We heard of how the Akwabo people felt they were being treated somehow by the majority, what they call the majority group in the East. The same thing with the North, the same thing with the East, with the West. So this very particular issue had been reoccurring for the past 100 and something years in the contraction called Nigeria. Now here's the deal. Now the three major, called what they call it, because in a normal setting, there is no major ethnic group. No ethnic group supersedes other ethnic groups. It is in Nigeria that we still hear of major ethnic groups and minor ethnic groups. Edo was a nation of its own before the coming of the colonial masters. The Ijaw nation was there, the Sekiri nation was there, the Ibibio nation was there, the Tif nation was there, the Nupe nation was there, even the Hausa nation, the Fulani nation, the Oduduwa nation, the Igbo nation. They were all there, they were all existing before the coming of these people. These people were independently separated from each other. But the moment they decided to bring us together for their business empire, all they did was to take away our right as a nation and forcefully joined us together without not having us to express our fundamental human right as a people. You know, when you force a guy to marry a lady that he never loves, you only give him a contract, a marriage certificate. You only give him a marriage certificate, but you have actually not solved the problem because the marriage might not work. Because they are two different set of people. Now, the contraction today now gave power to three groups. You're going to see where the problem is coming from. That contraction of 1914, that marriage of 1914. Guys, just give me 1 minute, please. Hello, Baba. Megari laughing argument you will be. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, guys. It's one of my boss. Now, you know, they gave power to 3 ethnic groups from 200 and something ethnic groups that make up the Nigerian state. How do you think such a nation will ever have peace? I hope Muhammadu Buhari and his men will be watching this video clearly. Maybe this will help them to solve whatever issues that is surrounding that contraction called Nigeria. We are different nations, 200 and something nations bundled together by the British government under colonialism for their own selfish interests, not for the interest of the people of Nigeria. They decided to strip some of us our fundamental human right as a citizen of this world, and they forcefully added us to people that we have not the same culture with. I'm going to tell you why some people today believe that they have power. That's what I'm going, guys. It started from these British people. So the problem today is not the Nigerian state. The problem today is the British Empire. They didn't do the same to the Scottish. They didn't do the same to the Irish. They didn't do the same to the Londoners. The 4 nations that actually makes up this so-called union in the United Kingdom, they gave them different rights. But when they gave these 3 people power, these 3 people, I'm going to use them people now, these 3 ethnic groups became the Lord of the Nigerian state. Let me shock you guys. During the 1953 parliamentarian sitting, where the youngest parliamentarian, which was about 27 years of age, late Chief Anthony Naro Diadolo Furumi, from Edo State, and Ishama for that matter, raised a motion for an independence in 1957. We were told that the Northern Protectorates or the Northern region decided to work out. Now, the northern part of Nigeria today, the one they call the North, is made up of many different ethnic groups. But they mop them together, that the minority, those ones, the one they call minority. Why did they call them minority? Because of their numbers. Not because of their irrelevancy, because of their number of people that actually speak the same language or dialect with them. That's how the white people, the British, began to define. If that's why they decided to define who and what is a majority or a minority. It became unfortunate, quite unfortunate, that such people who we thought were actually learned, but yet they do not understand that calling someone a minority in a nation where you've already taken his entire geographical space and forced it into a union, and yet you mix in redundant, irrelevant in the union. How do you think they're going to be peace in such a nation, guys? How do you think an Ishekiri man who actually was a kingdom of his own with their Olu as their paramount ruler is now subjected, answerable to someone else? How do you think today that they will not say the Sultan of Sokoto is more higher in rank than the Alafin of Oyo, than the Oba of Benin, than the Olu of Wari, than the Igwes in Igbo land? Whereas these same people, before this contraction, they had absolute power over their territory that God gave to them as an ancestral land. How do you expect peace and tranquility to reign in such an area? These three contraction, they mean these three, what they call major ethnic groups, connived together. Because then, the minority ethnic groups weren't speaking anymore. They became irrelevant in the scheme of things. I'm going to say the minority group became a follower, a follow. What they call the minority, they became a follow. Today, you don't hear of an Ishekiri man. He just decided to take up arms against the government of Nigeria under the resource control agitation that actually brought Ijaw to the limelight today. Ijaw became known in the section of the Nigerian state today because they decided to fight their way out of that cycle of oppression. Now, when these three major ethnic groups saw the advantage of them being a leading force in the Nigerian state, they head on to that very particular arrangement. They head on to that very particular arrangement without not giving up. Because it actually favored them. It makes some people second class, third class, fourth class, fifth class, and it makes them the super class in the nation called Nigeria. That is why you hear today, when they talk about rotation of power, they said between the north of the Hausa Fulanis, the west of the Yorubas, and the east of the Igbos. Then they call the South the minority. So how do you think a child or a king whose domain was captured is now being made to serve another king, and you think they're going to be peace? These three major ethnic groups head on to that contraction of 1914 till 2014. At 2014, that was where they would have actually sat down to renegotiate this contraction called Nigeria. But you know why they refused to do that? Because it actually favored the Wazobians. Believe it or leave it, guys. If you watch during the 2014, there were agitations that this contraction should be dissolved. But the power that be within these three major... Listen, guys, when I talk about these three major ethnic groups, I'm not talking about the entire people. No. They not call the shot as far as the Nigerian state is concerned. Because of the way and manner the British government actually enraged the 1914 amalgamation. So they refuse to budge, knowing fully well if they do, they call for a round table talk, they're going to be, a snow diving of the status quo that they have enjoyed in the last 100 years under the fraudulent amalgamation by Lord Lugard in 1914. So they decided not to follow suit in that dimension. That actually brought us to where we are today. They gave power to three people, to three nations, in a nation that is comprised of over 200 and something ethnic nationalities. How will there be peace, guys? How will there be peace? You can't solve an issue when you make me a second class, even in my state. People are crying today. Hear this, guys. We must tell ourselves the truth today. The East are crying. The Yorubas are crying. But they have to understand, the people they call minority have been oppressed for over 100 years. The people called minority in Nigeria have been oppressed since 1914. They've been enslaved since 1914. Check most of the constitution that was being made. It never favored the minorities. The one they call the minorities. Because of the number of people, or because of the number of territory that they control. That defines who is a minority and who is a majority in a nation that we all actually own together. Before the invention of oil in 1950-something at Oloibiri, we have the Granite Pyramid in the north. They use that to take care of the northern state under the leadership of the Sultan of the Aminu Kano, the Sultan of Sokoto, and Tafawa Balewa. In the west, they have the cocoa time. They used it to take care of the west. In the east, then they had the palm oil. But today, the so-called minority group, which produce the largest quantity of crude oil today, their monies are not being taken from them because they are minorities. To feed the over-bloated, glutton-like majority. And you think there's going to be peace? You see today why the agitation is taking a different dimension. It is because many of the minorities are not seeing the gain they are going to gain if actually this contraction goes into extinction. Now, you know, I've been in Nigeria for quite some time now. I've spoken to a lot of big people, a lot of well-known, not politicians, leaders of thought. And one of the things they told me was this: son, we know what you guys are doing. You guys are doing a great job. But can we actually be able to sustain the system that we have today? That is why many people actually believes that the only way out of this lockdown is a referendum. A situation whereby every ethnic nationality will sit together as equal stakeholder in this nation. Not bringing 20 people from the north and bringing 2 people from maybe bringing 20 people from Kanuri tribe, maybe 30 people from the Fulani tribe, maybe 20 people from the Hausa tribe, and you're coming to Edo, Urobo, Isoko, Ijo, Ishekiri, the Nupes, the thieves. You are bringing 2 persons in. No. As an equal stakeholder, everybody, just the way they said to do today in the Senate, as an equal stakeholder, everyone must have the same numbers of representatives in that conference to discuss if we are going to live together as a nation or we are going to dissolve along ethnic lines. See why people are so scared of the breakup of this entity called Nigeria. They're really scared because, listen guys, the Fulanis, the Hausa Fulanis that we all talk about today are not as powerful as some of these minor ethnic groups in Nigeria. Believe it or leave it, guys. The reason why today you see the minority are not actually agitating, it is because they do not want to fall again into what they've experienced in the past. Because the government that brought this whole contraction today that is no more working made a mistake from the beginning. When the government said there is unity in diversity, that is true. There is strength in diversity, but that strength can only be enhanced when the proper, rules are being put in place. But that we did not have in the Nigerian state of the 1914. If every nationality had the right by the constitution to send a representative each, I am very sure this contraction would have ended in 2014. Or there would have been a new oriented Nigerian state by the end of 2013. But because some few had the superpowers, while others are the followers, it makes it impossible for there to be a sit-up in order for us to have a discussion on where we'll go. Remember during the 2014 conference, national conference, there was many times that the Hausas, they call themselves the Northerners, left, refused to agree with the South. You see, now they were not beginning the South and the North. That was one hell of an agenda of underdevelopment by the British government. Because we were never the same people. Nigeria is the only nation in the world that has nations inside a nation. We had different ideology, different setting, different thinking. Everything was different. When they had put us together, they would have made it also very important that no one is bigger than the other. But rather, they decided to divide it along geographical lines, not along ethnical lines. So they mop up those small ethnic groups by number or by land space into the major ethnic groups and made them redundant and irrelevant. That is the genesis of the crisis of today. The only way we can rectify these abnormalities that we put upon us by the British government is to return back to the 1914 Amalgamation Constitution that gave rise to the nation called Nigeria. Not the 47, not the 53, not the 57, not the 60. Those ones are inconsequential. The foundation of the nation is where the fault lies, and we can only get a true and a well-deserved nation if we want to remain together. If it's to return back to 1914 and check the clauses that make the nation ungovernable and unworkable. Until we do that, this nation cannot work. But do you know why they will not do it? Let me tell you the reason why these three superpowers will not do it. I'm going to call it superpowers in Nigeria today. Okay? Why they will not do it? Because if they do it, it's not going to favor them. The nation Nigeria is going to split into tiny geographical nations. Or if they decide to also come together as a nation, they are going to come with something. They're going to come with something that is quite completely different from the ideology of this group of people. So they understood that. So they felt there is no way they can go that way. So all they are doing today is to see how they can mop up together this whole ideology of we remaining one Nigeria. And I'm also going to speak to my brothers in the east, the Biafras, and my brothers in the south, in the west, the Oduduwas. In forming a nation, because I'm coming from 1914 right now. Guys, listen to me today. Let me try to, do a lot of analysis. I'm coming from 1914. Now, let me go to the Biafra nation today. I'm going to say, I've said it many times, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have done marvelously well. I give him kudos. He has actually woken up the sleeping giant in the Nigerian state. He actually woke up the Yorubas today. Yeah. He actually woke up the Middle Bretons today. Yes. He actually woke up the Edos today. Yes. When they just fought, they were fighting for resource control, not succession. So I would say they actually started this agitation. Okay? No? When they kind of started agitation, most of them actually did it. So I'm gonna give kudos to the Igbos, to Wazirike, and to the IPOP family for the awakening that they've done in the last few years. Okay? Now, having given them such a wonderful accolade, now I want also them not to make the mistake of the British government in 1914. When a nation is being formed, a nation is formed based on dialogue, compromise, agreement, and disagreement. Why the nation Nigeria isn't working today, it is because these four ingredients that make up a prosperous nation was never brought into the table when the British joined us together. Now today, I just heard Wike saying we are not part of IPOP family. We are not part of the Biafra family. Guys, hear this very clearly. Go do a negotiation with the people. The people will decide where they want to belong to. Let us not forcefully incorporate people into our planned nations, because we're going to end up in the same way that we are today in this failed contraction called Nigeria. The reason is not far-fetched. We might succeed in having a Biafra nation. It's a beautiful nation. Like I told most people, said Biafra, they are just like the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indians, the Singapores, all put together in a nation called Nigeria. In a nation, they all put together in one contraction called Nigeria. We know that. They are industrious. They are high tech in industrialization and technology is second to none in Africa. No need about that. An illiterate in the East has more technological knowledge than a professor in the West. I mean it. Yeah. A guy who did not go to school in the East has more technological knowledge than a guy who actually is a professor in mechanical engineering in the West, in the North, or in any other part of the nation. That we can't take from them. But if we want to get a prosperous and a peaceful nation like other nations of the world, we must embrace this very particular system I'm about to introduce. Let there be proper negotiation with every ethnic group that makes up the Biafra region or the Old Eastern region. Not by force, but by negotiation. If an ethnic group says, I don't want to be part of Biafra, all you need to do is to tell them why Biafra will be the way out. Then when you're doing this, you also try to put up a framework on how this will work perfectly well without not being hindered along the line, like we had in the 1966 coup that actually altered the ruling program or the government program of the Nigerian state. Okay, which has brought us to where we are today, whereby power is not being concentrated in the hands of one man anymore, because the president of Nigeria is like a demigod today. But that was not what it was before the 1966 coup. Okay, guys. So now you don't force these people. You try to negotiate with them. Why they should? You must be able to convince me why I should accept your new idea. I'm very sure people might not like this, but that's the truth. Let there be a discussion with the people, not confrontation. Have a one-to-one attach with them. Let them understand why you need to be. Do you know that there are many Benins that are Apple family? Many Benins are Apple family. Many Ishans are Apple family. Whereas many Igbos refuse to be Apple family. Igbo speaking people. No, the difference is now people are not being able to convince these Benins, these Ishans, these Ijos, these Shakiris, Ibibios, Robos, the thief, the Lupes, on the walkability of the new rising sun nation called Biafra. Many guys are on ground doing the groundwork, talking to people, telling them the tit-tats of what will become the Biafra nation if they decide to support us to have our freedom. Okay, so you see, when that is not being done, people are coming in with the mind, with the belief that this is where the way will go. Then they will not become an agreement that if you fail to actually carry up this very particular agreement that you just said today, there's going to be a clause for an easy way out. This is what the Nigerian state did not have. And this is what actually Lieutenant Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu, of blessed memory, actually went to Aburi in Ghana to obtain. Ojumegu was not ready to destroy Nigeria. Ojumegu was not part of those who wanted Nigeria to actually break. No. Ojumegu wanted a Nigeria whereby every nationality, particularly the East, we have a say. Ojumegu wanted a situation whereby Nigeria will become a confederal system of government, whereby power will no more be centered at the center, but power will not be shared amongst the regions. And you know, in a confederate state, as power is being shared to the region, the same way, the same power is being shared to the communities. Yes, guys. So the confederate system of government does not just, okay, only the central state doesn't have power. Then the region or the states have so much power. No. In the confederate, the central has no power over the state, and the state has no so much power over the local government. It goes down to that level. So there will not be an identity recognition in a confederate system. That was why the Senegambia confederate system of government that they broke in peace, because there's already a clause there that you can easily go out whenever you want if you feel the union wasn't working well. That is why when you get married, they gave us a way out. They call it divorce. Before the coming of Moses, there was no divorce in Israel. When a woman does something wrong, they will stone her to death. That was the mentality. But when Moses came in the wilderness, while they were going to the promised land, he said to say, why is the need of killing these women? Why not let us just actually give them a certificate to say, I do not like your way anymore. Go. So there was a way out. Instead of forcing them to live together, one killing each other, there come this idea of you can run away from this old setting by just going to the court and get a certificate of divorce, and everybody part their ways. Just like what we saw yesterday, the breaking news of Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, separating or divorcing after 27 years of marriage. Okay, guys. So, you see that now. Now, in the West, also the same thing. Today, you see the Oni of Ife dragging the Shekiri kingdom into the Yoruba empire, into the Yoruba kingdom. All this is for supremacy purpose. You see the Benis now saying no, the Shekiris are actually part of the Benin kingdom from the beginning. So there is a contest on who actually owns the Shekiri kingdom. And my question is this: in this present age and time, that any kingdom can still be put under other kingdom. The Warri kingdom, led by the Shekiri people, have been existing for years. In the 21st century, nobody will say this kingdom is still under our control. During the time before the coming of the colonial master, the Shekiri people were actually independent. They only pay homages to the Benin kingdom, but they were not under the control of the Oba Benin at that time. Do you know why they are doing that? It is for supremacy purpose. It is the fraudulent 1914 that give rise to this, power tussle. Give rise to power tussle that has actually than it has ever been. So this is the genesis of the Nigeria problem, the 1914 amalgamation, a fraudulent, defective constitution, which have expired in 2014, but yet the power that be, because of the benefit of that very particular fraudulent document, they have refused to accept that that document have expired, and we need to have a renewed document for us to be able to decide our existence. You see, when the United States says we are not going to get involved in the Nigerian state, go solve your problem. The United Kingdom says we're not going to get involved anymore in your state, go do a dialogue with the people. The EU said, we're not going to get involved in your problem. Go and try to fix the legal framework that make up the nation called Nigeria. They know what they're talking about. The legal framework must start from 1914, not the 1999 constitution as amended, guys. Believe it or not, 2 years, I think 1 year after independence, the Midwest region, known today as Edo Delta, began to fight for secession from the West. 2 years. Why? These are facts. 2 years after independence, they began to fight. They said, we can't live under the West. The Adaka boroughs and others began to fight in the eastern region. Why? That is one reason we almost start thinking, how can we be able to live together? Even if we decide to have the Biafra, the Oduduwas, and the Harawas, as they did not divide, the entire nation to be. Where do you place now the so-called minorities of Nigeria? Where do you place the Shakiris? Where do you place the Bibios, the Tips, the Nupes, the Edos, and many other little languages, little ethnic groups that was in existence before the forceful marriage of 1914? Until we get this clearly out to the people, the Nigerian state will be completely impossible to progress. Neither can we be able to get what we want from it. Because when there to be a divorce in a home, the entire component that make up the home must agree, which is the husband and the wife. The wife cannot sign the divorce paper to the husband. If the husband refuses to sign it, it takes the lawyer an extra strength, an extra work. It takes the judge an extra work to actually approve such a divorce. Okay? Except you have to go into legal battles. So, you can have it just like Gate and Melody are doing now. They're having a very peaceful divorce. Whereby they will just go and say, we decide to separate, and they will sign their papers, and that ends it. But they can be some because of the disagreement between the two components that make up that union. They have to go through a legal process. There will be battle of separation. And we now see after one wins, there'll be a lot of constraint on the other. We do not want to separate in this nation with a battle. I'm not one of those who believe in war. Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Somalia, Ethiopia, Sudan is a clear example of what war can cause. That's why I am telling us today, let's carry the so-called minorities and put them into the wagon for a better, well-articulate Nigeria, or for a peaceful dissolution of the contraction called Nigeria. On the two parts, you need them. Don't relegate them to the barest minimum because you think they are minorities. Let me also shock you before I read my news. Hey guys, in the 1914 amalgamation, and prior to the 1960 independent constitution, the white man also known as the British colonial masters, they practice what we call the divide and rule system. Don't be surprised, guys. Their practice was a divide and rule system on the people, but not on the major, what they call the major ethnic groups, but they operated a divide and rule system on the minor ethnic groups. They began to create ethnic enmities among the people that makes up the minority, in order to infuse them, forcefully or tactically infuse them into what they call the majority. Go read history today. Before the coming of these colonial masters, the entire Atlantic region were one. They were one big, happy family. The Jaja for Popo and every other people within that geographical region work hand in hand. But when they were coming to Benin, they understood that these minority groups were so much together. They decided to use some of the people from this region as their weapon. And when the Benins in 1897 saw the people that came with them, then there was an enmity created among these people. You sometimes they said it was the Igbos and the Shekiris that came with the white man into our land in 1987. Divide and rule. They created enmity between these people. They tear them apart. Today, in the 1967 to 1969, 1970 war, known as the Biafra or the Nigerian Civil War, the majority who were together, now that is the North and the West, actually did the same thing again. Using the Benin Kingdom, or Benin City then, because there was no kingdom anymore, Benin City then, which is claimed to be the minority, as a bait against the Biafra Foundation. That is why today, a fanatical Biafran or a fanatical Igbo man we hate a Benin man just because they believed it was the Benins that made them not to have won that war. This so-called superpower actually got this whole idea from their colonial masters on the divide and rule system. And today, by 2021, the same system is still applicable in Nigeria. Anytime there's an issue, they operate a divide and rule in order for them to be able to get the so-called minority onto their side. So they will not have a majority. So you see now, they need the minority to have a majority. Therefore, there is no ethnic group in Nigeria that should be called majority. Every ethnic group has a responsibility because the geographical location that I live in was an ancestral God-given location. I'm not living on a borrowed land, just like I'm living, on a street whereby maybe Dangote owns one side of that street. And I have one house on that street. That does not make me a tenant in the street. I am a landlord. Doesn't matter the kind of house I live in there, but I remain a landlord So when there is a meeting of all landlords, I will come out and speak my mind as a landlord. Every ethnic group in Nigeria are landlords of their different ancestral locations. They should be treated as such in order for us to have a peaceful coexisting Nigeria or a peaceful dissoluting Nigeria. Any of the two, they are the deciding factors. These people will come and know you today, they are deciding factors. Yes, they are the deciding factors today. Do you know also that the 1967 to 1970 war in Nigeria was not won by the Hausas? Do you know the 1967 war was not won by the Yorubas? The truth of the matter is the 1967 war was won by the minorities. Go check history, guys. Lieutenant Colonel David Job, the then military administrator of Edo, was from the minority. The then Lieutenant T.Y. Danjuma was from the minority. These guys who actually did the havoc during the Nigerian Civil War were not the majority. They were the minority. Olusegun Obasanjo only came to the limelight when he decided, when the time Philip Ifeong decided to surrender to the Nigerian troops. That's when Obasanjo showed up and and take the olive tree and peace restored back to Nigeria. But the guys who actually fought the war were the minorities. So they have a very, very important role to play in the Nigerian state of today. If only the so-called majority will listen to this kind of advice from a small boy like me. So, having said that, let us go to the news headline. The first one I'm going to read is from my father. I love this man very well. He's about 90-something years old guy, but yet he speaks as if he's just 12 years old. Say nobody has confidence in Buhari, let alone pass vote of confidence. Let alone pass vote of no confidence. The Afenifere leader, Chief Ayo Adebanjo. Okay. So leaders of the Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, says the president, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, has lost control of the country's leadership, adding that nobody needs to pass vote of no confidence in him before the whole world knows that he has failed Nigerians. The 93 years old, and all our people are on social media doing saga, disgracing, particularly the Edo people. I'm so ashamed. Sorry guys, I have to deviate a little bit. I'm so ashamed when I go on social media seeing what my people are doing. Because of the peanuts that come from Facebook and YouTube, our people are ready to do anything just to get views. It is so embarrassing that a time will come, your children will not be able to face the screen and talk. One thing we always forget is most of this we are doing today will remain here for a very, very long time. You see, sometimes Facebook will remind you of a post you posted 10 years ago. They will remind you of a post you posted 5 years ago. Sometimes you see YouTube will bring a post, a video that was done 15 years ago, and put it before your face. You are doing that for fame and for money, peanuts, forgetting there is a future ahead of you. Edo was known to be, a place where people actually, where education becomes paramount, where people actually use their brains. But today, I don't know what is actually happening with most of our people living in the diasporas. What you're supposed to discuss behind the door. You pick up your phone and you are on the social media space insulting, degrading, disgracing the entire Benin Kingdom. All for peanuts. Maybe at the end of the day, they pay you 2,000. They pay you 2,000 euros or dollars, and you jump on it. Guys, wanna wake up, wanna wake up. Let me continue so that they will not take me away from my show. Now I said it was reacting to claim by presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina that destructive elements were recruiting ethnic groups and politicians with the motive of convening conferences where a vote of no confidence will be passed in the president. This Adesina of a guy, I don't even understand what his problem is. I don't know. The Greenfield University student adopted 5 have been killed. I want to ask this guy, this Adesina of a guy, Oga, if those children, where these people they kill so like ram meat, they were your children, what would you have done? I want to speak to General Muhammadu Buhari, Garba Shehu, the Senate President Lawan, the House of Representatives Speaker Femi Bajamila. And all these leaders today, if they pick children that will be kidnapped and their parents be threatened that they are going to be killed their children today, do you know what it takes to train a child to the level of being a university graduate or undergraduate, as the case may be right now? Oh, do you know what it is for the mother of this Christian girl from Dapchi that has still remained in captivity? If she was your child, will you be sitting there saying what you're saying? Do you know what the pain that the mother of the Chibok girls are still passing through, where they hear every day that their children have given birth? Yeah, thank you, Leah Shaibu. When they know that their children have given birth without their consent, without their input. Or do you know the pains that the family of the Benue people are going through over the continual massacres of their people? I think the Nigerian government needs to wake up to the reality on ground. There is no need of doing the ostrich system, whereby the ostrich puts its head into the sand and think she has already hidden herself, knowing fully where the entire body is being seen by every passerby. It is becoming very glaring to the world that the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari had failed. I'm very sure people like Femi Adesina, people like Garba Shehu and Laura, and many of these people are actually a problem, who maybe do not tell this guy who we know had dementia the truth. They brainwash him, making believe that everything is actually working well in the nation called Nigeria. Additional in a statement on Tuesday, I'm going to read that statement to you later, the additional statement. Additional in a statement on Tuesday had also said the people of the move, the purpose of the move was to further throw the country into turmoil. I don't understand what this guy is saying. in a nation where things haven't working any longer, in a nation where anarchy has become the order of the day, in a nation where death means nothing to us anymore, in a nation where inflation has risen to 2-digit number, in a nation where we were supposed to be the center of development in Africa. Today we have become the worst, the third most worst governed country in the world. In a nation where the 4 most dangerous, terrorist organization actually resides. In a country where today we are now the capital of poverty in the world. In a nation where the president, anytime he sick, goes to London to take medications. In a nation whereby power, the epileptic power had remained unchecked. In a nation where over 100 million Nigerians are in extreme poverty. In a nation whereby over 11 million or so children are out of school children. In a nation where it becomes next to impossible for people to have 001 or 100 or 010 meal. In a nation where people live below $1 in a day. In a nation where the worth of dollar in 2015 was 189 and the worth of dollar today is 501 naira. And how do you think that the Nigerian people are so myopic, they are so dumb, they are so stupid that they're not seeing what they're actually going through right now? But speaking with Punch on Tuesday evening, the Afenifere leader said the president already failed and there was no need for any group to gather anywhere to pass a vote of no confidence in him. Adebanjo, who described the 1999 constitution as a fraud. But I am saying that the 1940 constitution is the fraud. The 1940 constitution gave birth to all the fraudulent constitutions that have ever existed in Nigeria. The amalgamation constitution of 1914 gave birth to all the constitutions that ever existed in Nigeria. Also urged the president to, as a matter of urgency, return the constitution to the 1964 constitution agreed on by the founding fathers of Nigeria, including the late Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Obafemi Awolowo, and Sir Nnamdi Azikiwe. He said, you see, now this is what I say again now. This is what I say again now. This is what I say again. When I was talking about the 3 superpowers of Nigeria, this is where the problem is. The moment you have a superpower, guys, hold on a little bit right now. Do you know in the world today, do you know what there is always war in the world? Because some few people came together to call themselves the world superpowers. And the moment they did that, other people will be springing up, like the Chinese now, springing up to be a world superpower. That's how it works. And that will bring tension, confusion in the nation. Look at what Adeban just said now. Say what Ahmadu Bello, Azikiwe, and Obafemi agreed on. So these are the Wazobias. But this is a nation that made up of 200 and something ethnic nationalities. We must recognize the least ethnic group in Nigeria as a major stakeholder in the contraction of Nigeria before this nation can have peace. take this anywhere, guys. Until we are able to reorient our brains that everybody have equal stake in the nation called Nigeria, peace will continue to elude us. Even when we have to do our Biafra Republic or Arab Republic today, or even the Niger Delta, whatever it is, until there is a consensus among the different ethnic nationalities that make up this contraction, that we must live together based on principles and facts. This is what I just said before now. And I just came in here now that he was saying what the founding fathers, it means the founding fathers are the Wazobias. So if it is the Wazobias, then what input does I have as an Edoman? What input does I have as an Ishekiri, Ijo, Ibibio, Thieves, Nupes in the contraction called Nigeria? He said, who is interested in passing a vote of no confidence in Buhari? Who was confident in Buhari before, let alone pass any vote of no confidence in him? That is not the issue. The main thing is to restructure the country back to federalism and forget all this gossip by additional. Yeah, I also accept federalism. Yeah, federalism can also work in a multinational nation like Nigeria. Yeah, it can work. Because federalism will also give power to these ethnic nationalities to a certain level, whereby they also have a say. Because when the federalism system, the federal system being operated by the American, which we copied in 1979, which we copied in 1979, will also give rise to me. If there is an oil in my compound, the oil belongs to me. I'm only paying royalty to the federal government. If they bring that in here, but they must bring what we call a true and an honest federalism. No federalism whereby power is being taken to the central and be distributed to the state, and the state will keep the entire power at the center of the state. When the power gets to the state, the power must go down to the local government. And when the power gets to the local government, the power must go down to the communities and the ethnic nationalities that makes up the local government. Then and then only, that peace and tranquility will return back to Nigeria or any of the secession nations of the future. Okay, we don't have to pass a vote of no confidence for the world to know we don't have a confidence in Buhari. I don't know of any group who want to take over the government, but I know of those of us who want the country to be restructured in a peaceful manner. Those of us in Afenifere and all other groups in the South who are agitating for restructuring are the friends in Nigeria. Are the friends of Nigeria, are the friends of Buhari. I hope it is not too late for Buhari to realize this, he added. Okay, that was from our father, Adebanjo. Okay, and he just said that in there is one I want to give us right now. Now this was actually the broadcast or the warning that came from additional the presidency that made our father Chief Ayo Adebanjo to reply what I just read. I will look at what this Bonfu additional actually wrote. The guy is really disgusting. I must say the truth. I must say the truth. These group of people are people that actually make people to believe that the West are traitors. The guy sold himself to the devil completely because of the little thing that is actually benefited today. So presidency one of plot to throw Nigeria into turmoil, force on the democratic change of government. They always insinuating. The presidency has raised an alarm over the plot by some disruptive element to throw Nigeria into turmoil. Presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina, in a statement issued on Tuesday, said, the aim of the disruptive element is to create a situation whereby a vote of no confidence will pass on President Muhammadu Buhari. I've already explained that anyways. Further, unimpeachable evidence shows that these disruptive elements are now recruiting the leaders of some ethnic groups and politicians around the country with the intention of conveying some sort of confidence, where a vote of confidence, conveying some sort of confidence, where a vote of no confidence will be passed on the president, thus throwing the land into further turmoil, the statement partly read. The caterwauling in recent time by this element is to prepare the ground adequately for their ignorable intentions, which are designed to cause further grief for the country. The agent provocators hope to achieve through artificial and salad of arms what they failed to do through the ballot box in 2019 election. Sometimes I wonder if the APC are actually living in the moon. I swear. I wonder if these guys are actually living in the moon or they are living in this part of the world. I don't understand. In a nation where things are happening to the glory of their eyes, the Nigerian state was not as bad as this when everybody say Jonathan must go. It was not as bad as today. But yet these guys will come out to find every way to make the president the victim. To Gabashew, Femi Adesina, and all the spokespersons and all the APC leaders and the governors, they see Buhari as a victim and see we Nigerians as the victimizers. Oh, my brother. Yeah, they see us that we're the one victimizing Buhari. So they see Buhari as the victim. You see what is happening? So, say we want to remove Buhari because we didn't win the election in 2019. Bros, wake up. Is this the 2015 government that Jonathan left for you? Is this the 2015 government that President Jonathan left for you? Did you guys not say in 2014 that subsidy is a fraud? There's nothing like subsidy. Did you guys not say in 2014 that Boko Haram is being sponsored by Goodluck Jonathan? Did you guys not say in 2014 that the killing of Boko Haram is the killing of the Northerners in order for Jonathan to win the election? Today, Jonathan left government when bag of rice was 8,000. Today, a bag of rice is 30-something thousand. Jonathan left government when a bag of cement was 1,300. Today, a bag of cement is 4,200. Jonathan left government when a fuel was 87. Today, fuel is 100 and something naira, going up to 212. Today, Jonathan left government when we only have one insecurity challenge in Nigeria called the Boko Haram. Today, we have numerous uncountable to the point we now have a security challenge called the unknown gunmen. The unknown gunmen. So we have the Boko Haram, we have the ISWA, that is the ISIS West Africa province. We have the bandit. We have the Fulani herdsmen. Now we have the unknown gunmen. It's a new one now. They are called the unknown gunmen. They give us a new phrase for these people: the unknown gunmen. So when you are dealing with these people, know that we now have what we call the unknown gunmen. This all came under the government of Buhari. In Jonathan's time, we only have one kidnap case, the Shibu girls, which you guys actually trumpeted all over the world. You were in London, you were in US Parliament, you were in the European Parliament, criticizing the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. Today, kidnapping of students are becoming a norm in the Nigerian setting today, to the point that, like Mohammed said, it's not only in Nigeria that kidnapping is taking place. So it's also taking place in America. So they are not trying to actually defend the indefendable. So he recalled that the Department of State Police on State Service on Sunday alerted on sinister move by misguided element to wreak havoc on the government's sovereignty and the corporate existence of the country. Why are you guys so feared? Listen, nobody wants to wreak havoc on Sweden. We are living. Nobody, no Swedish want to raise harm against the Swedish state. You know why? Because there's equity, there's fairness, there's justice. Even to those of us who are not even from here, who came here by nationality, they treat us the way they treat their people, to some reasonable extent anyways. But at least that treatment they give us the hope for a better tomorrow. So when the people, even if people are trying to come together and pass a vote of no confidence on their president, if even there is, it means something is not right between the people and the so-called government. There is already a dysfunctioning. That is why people are deciding not to like the government anymore, assuming there is a cry like that. I said yesterday, instead of fighting the IPOB and the ESN, call them to a roundtable talk. Instead of fighting Sunday Baho, call them to a roundtable talk. Call every of these secessionists to a roundtable talk. They have a very cogent grievances over the Nigerian state, why they want to exit the union after 61 years of living together. So when it comes 2 days after the Department of State Police says it will begin a crackdown on agents of anarchy in various parts of the country. This is in a statement on Sunday by a spokesperson, Peter Funaya, faulted those said to be creating instability through comments that threaten the sovereignty and corporate existence of the nation. Guy, listen, Mr. Spokesperson of DSS, the truth of the matter is this: the people are expressing their dissatisfaction. It is their fundamental human right. I'm going to say it again, sir. If the government was doing well based on the promises it gave to us in 2014, 2015, prior to the election, nobody will complain about him. Don't make this to be an ethnic war, because it is not. One of the most respected president of the 1990 of this Fourth Republic under the 1999 fraudulent constitution as amended is a man of the same kings and tribes of Buhari, Yaradua. Is a man that today, when the name Yaradua is being mentioned in the South, in the Southeast, in the Southwest, everybody will say this was a man that was supposed to have changed Nigeria, but we lost him to the cold hands of death even before he could continue. The 2 years he was in power, he made a significant difference in this nation. So that shows that the Nigerian state do not actually believes in ethnicity. Why today there is a clamor for ethnic cleansing, ethnic supremacy? It is because of the body language of the present government of President Muhammadu Buhari. I'm going to say this very clearly. I know maybe tomorrow I might be arrested, but that's the truth. Truth must be told. In 2010, when Muhammadu Yusuf came up with his teaching of education is a sin and all that, Muhammadu Yusuf is also from the kings and tribes of this very particular man, with the same religion, but he went on them massively to end insurgency that was about to be bettered in Nigeria. He knew, because he is a Muslim, he understood the consequences of this radicalized preaching of Islam, of Islamic religion. He understood that people can easily be brainwashed into believing some of the things that these preachers will be telling them. Unfortunately, some people within the government that actually use these guys against the state decide to quickly eliminate them before they will start spilling the beans or letting the cat out of the bag. It was that extrajudicial killing of Muhammad Yusuf and many others that actually gave rise to Shakao and the today Boko Haram, who has become a thorn in the flesh of the Nigerian state. So when the citizens are not crying, we are tired. Listen, why are we not even, we that live in Europe today, why are we not crying against the government of Europe? Because they are not treating us that bad. We are enjoying the benefit that they are enjoying to a reasonable extent. Even listen, in Europe today, we talk about racism. Let me just shock you something. The law is against racism in Europe. The government does not practice racism in Europe. The individual can, but the government does not. It is not part of them at all. They give you what is due you by law. And that's why none of us rise up, even the city does not rise up against them. So when citizens are not rising up against its leadership, it means something had gone wrong. It means there is something that the government is doing that there is a dysfunctioning between the government and the people. So rather than you people threatening them, needs to know why are they agitating to leave the nation called Nigeria after 61 years. Come on, guys. The Nigerian Civil War ended 50 years ago, for goodness sake. The Igbos have lived in this contraction called Nigeria for the last 51 years. A child who is 51 years today is now a grandfather. Some today they have children there's around, there's even a local government chairman. So even after 51 years, these guys are not saying we refuse to agree to the agreement made by our fathers on the battlefield for us to live together. After 51 years, some of these children were not even born during the time of that peaceful end to the Nigerian Civil War. Is it not very clear that you need to ask them, my children, why is this new system coming up? What has actually happened? What has changed within this period of time? Rather than threatening them with fire and brimstone. It also condemned what it called the unnecessary criticism and activities of some religious and political leaders who have either called for a forceful change of government or mass action against it. Oh God. They just want everybody to praise the government. Now, where is now the position of the opposition? They want people to say good about the government that is actually not working for them. Nigeria as a whole, the presidency have failed. The 36 state governors have failed. The 770 something local government chairmen have failed. The entire councillors have failed. The Christian leaders have failed. The Islamic leaders have failed. The traditional leaders have woefully failed. The unions have failed us. The activists, all sector of the Nigerian state have failed the masses. Nobody's exempted. All of them have failed. The level we are today ought not to be where we ought to be. So guys, that was the message that Pa Ayo Adebanjo actually replied to, which I have also put before you in a clear sentence analysis. Thank you guys. I need to take it a bow right now. I'll see you tomorrow again as we continue to talk on the Nigerian state. I appreciate every one of you, Friday Advisor, MD Edosa, my sister Agawa, Mabel, and every one of you. I say a very big thank you. See you tomorrow again as we continue to tell truth to power. Don't forget. Let's continue hoping and believing that sooner or later we'll have a better nation, either as a people or as neighbors. Either as a people or as neighbors. But one thing is sure, the construction that make Nigeria will be great again. It's either as Nigeria or as neighbors. Thank you guys. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.